Hi, this is Jason from Nerdlocker, and I'm here with Michael Rowe. Michael, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Jason. Good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, too. So, Deadshot. How did that whole thing happen? How did you get that part? What went into it?
I had, I'll give you the long version. I was a musician for a long time. My band broke up. I moved out west, Western Canada, to hang out with my younger brother. He was an aspiring filmmaker and writer. We started to film stuff like comedy sketches and short films. I had to start acting as well as be the crew on these projects because we just didn't know that many people that were into it. So I tried acting for the first time and felt like I got the band back together, you know, doing something creative with your friends and family now even. So it felt right. Loved it, was all in, decided I was going to do it all as much as I could. Did a couple of acting classes, signed with an agency, and they sent me out on a couple of auditions. And my second or third audition was for this brand new show called Arrow. And they told me I'd be auditioning for a sniper named Finn. And lo and behold, got the part. I was thrilled. End up going to get fit for wardrobe at the studio, and everybody starts calling me Deadshot as I'm walking through. And I was like, you got the wrong guy. I'm playing some dude named Finn. I'm psyched, but, you know, Deadshot sounds way cooler, but I'm playing Finn, so, you know, thanks. And, you know, when I went in to see the wardrobe is when I actually found out for the first time. They showed me the comic books and everything. They said, no, you are Deadshot. We couldn't tell you because we didn't want the people auditioning to give away that this guy was going to show up on the series. And I recognized him from, you know, comic books. I didn't have any of his comics. I was mostly a Marvel comic collector as a kid. Don't tell the DC people that. They've been so cool. They've even given me an action figure. I feel like I'm cheating on them. But yeah, man, I couldn't believe it. Like, talk about, you know, the ultimate surprise. Yeah. And you know, I was like a kid on Christmas morning. I was stoked, and to get an opportunity to bring that character to life is a real blessing, man. And then all the fallout from it, like being able to do events like this and meet people that are really like the people that love these characters. Sure. You know, they're completely all in. They're devoted, and it's awesome. Interesting fact: the only other person to ever play Deadshot in a live action series was my first acting coach, Bradley Stryker, played him on Smallville. Really? So the only two dudes to play Deadshot in live action was like master and student.
Did you tell him now I'm the master?
Exactly. You did like. That's awesome. I don't know how many episodes you did, but I was like, you had a taste. I got, you know.
And now it's going to be revised on the big screen too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
I'm excited to see how that plays out, man. That's interesting casting. Yeah. Of course, they got a bigger budget. He's going to have way cooler weapons. He's going to have, you know, all the gear and all the toys. Sure. But you know what? I'd rather have my job and have like seasons to develop a character and to tell a story. That I feel is a blessing. Yeah. Rather than having to shove it all into 2 hours. Yeah. And maybe put out a film, you know, every couple of years if it goes to sequels.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've always liked Will Smith, you know, and he got to start on TV too. He did. And I just hope that they respect our version. Yeah. You know, people respect the TV characters, and that's all I want out of it. Not to be treated like second-class citizens because we do it on TV. So, yeah, no, I'm as excited as everybody else to see how it looks on the big screen for sure. Very cool.
Now, you were a comedian too, right? Like, you've done comedy.
Yeah, that's how I got my start.
Yeah, so how did that factor into your character? Because you brought a little bit of that too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I started doing comedy, and I figured that would be my in. Because I grew up with 4 brothers, and I toured for many years with a band of idiots in a van, just trying to crack each other up. Yeah. And I was like, you know, I feel like everybody talks about comedy is difficult, but I felt like it wasn't that difficult. It was just I'm a goofball at heart, and I've got a lot of practice doing this because of the way I've lived my life. And I thought that would be my in to the industry. And then I realized that these casting agents and acting coaches and all these people, they're looking at me like I'm gonna play like a badass or like a dangerous mofo, you know, like, and I'm like, that's how the world sees me. Like, I didn't really see myself like that, but I'm like, I'll take it. And then to start playing these villains, man, it's like it's the best job in the world. You know, you get to you get to say and do all the things people want to say and do but don't.
Yeah, they're
so
a lot more
it's
fun.
so liberating, you know. It's really fun. And then luckily I got a guy that did have a little bit of a sense of humor. Now even some of the stuff in the dialogue that wasn't meant to be funny, sometimes I would put a twist on it, and then, you know, the script sort of started having a little bit more of that. I was a snarky, you know, sort of asshole on the show, which I was like, this is great. You know, awesome. I can see all the little moments in here where I can play around with that.
Yeah.
And so they started writing towards that too, so it worked out perfectly.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any advice? I teach theater, and I have one student in particular who's big into comedy. That's what he wants to do. Any advice that you might have for any of my students, but him in particular?
I mean, I can't really explain how I got into it. I just know that you got to be loose and free and be able to think on your feet and improvise, and it's all about timing and rhythm. And I feel like doing music, it was always about timing and rhythm.
Sure.
And so I naturally can do that because I've been playing the drums like since I'm 6 years old, and I grew up with my grandparents owning a music store and stuff. So music really helped me, but also like the stupid stuff I would do with my brothers, like you watch a movie and there's something that cracks you up in the movie, and so you try to bust out the perfect time to like insert that line into your conversation to crack them up, you know? All that stuff, and even, you know, they would get you to play improv games when I was in acting class, and I realized that to kill time in the van while we're on tour in the band, we would do similar things. So it's just like, be playful, you know? Don't take it too seriously. Stay loose, and you're really just trying to crack up the person across from you. You know what I mean? And so when we filmed comedy stuff, we would always use the take where we had to cut away right before everybody collapsed into laughter. And that's the test, you know?
Sure.
And you often see that, and like you watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia, stuff like that. If you watch closely, they cut as you see Charlie Day's, you know, mouth start to curl because you know they broke. So that's the test. So when you're playing around with it, always try to make it fresh. You can't always change scripts and stuff like that, change contents. But if you change your delivery and do unexpected things, you gotta be that playful and be able to improvise, because it's all about the timing and catch someone off guard.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thanks a lot for the interview. It's been a great one.
My pleasure.